Created the greatest economy in the history of our country.
Well, first of all, let's put this in perspective.
The unemployment numbers for African Americans, for Asian Americans, for Hispanic Americans, virtually every number was the best.
Inflation rate month to month was just an inch.
We had the best stock market price ever.
I got that. But guess what we are? We're in a position where for the last several months, it hasn't spiked.
You know what? She deleted 33,000 emails.
How that could possibly happen. How anyone could be that irresponsible. And I thought, what data was in there that may compromise sources and methods? By that, I mean names of people who helped or et cetera. And it's just totally irresponsible.
I think it's disgraceful what she's done.
I mean, honest to God, that's all I think.
The biggest scandal was when they spied on my campaign.
I haven't, look.
They spied on my campaign, they got caught.
Don't.
And then they went much further than that, and they got caught.
Yes.
It was our Justice Department.
Yes.
It was Obama and Biden.
It's wrong.
It's wrong.
It's wrong. So wrong.
I think what happened was disgraceful. Should never have happened.
Think about that.
Should never have happened.
Think of how that has changed everything.
What kind of ice cream? What flavor ice cream do you have?
You think I would tell you if I knew exactly what it would be? Of course I'm not going to tell you.
You just come in here with that negative attitude.
And it's much too early to make that kind of decision.
And when I finish, this country will be in a position like it hasn't been maybe ever.
I'm more optimistic than I've been in a long time.
To talk to you about what we're going to deal with. We've gotten the 5 a.m. advisory. Now, you've got to be at 157 miles an hour to be considered a Cat 5, and we're at 160 miles an hour. And, the one thing notable about this storm, it's very compact. So it differs from the last storm we had, Helene. And that means the track can, change at the drop of a hat. The speed and strength can change at the drop of a hat. And that's what we've seen. We're at Cat 5 status now. We'll drop to Cat 4. And unfortunately for Tampa and Tampa Bay, it's looking more and more like as this cone kind of shrinks, that is where we'll see some impacts. It's the last thing they need, and it is absolutely heartbreaking. We've certainly been following it. As it makes landfall, it will cross the entire state as a Category 1. Now, for us in Jacksonville, we're out of the cone, but we're still going to be impacted by storm surge in certain spots and, of course, rain and wind. So I want to zoom into our radar just to give you an idea of what we're tracking here with the storm. We've got that storm surge warning. So our coastline is very aware. Now, listen, we're going to see about 3 to 5 feet of storm surge, whereas areas in Tampa where this thing is particularly going to make landfall as that track comes in right in this vicinity could see upwards of 15 feet of storm surge. And I'll tell you, St. Petersburg and Bradenton are other towns near there. And I've got a good friend of mine that lives on a sailboat in St. Petersburg, to put it in perspective. She retreated from Tampa to Tallahassee up this way. But regardless, it's a dangerous situation, and people have done their best. But this is a storm that is unsurvivable if you stay in Tampa. And the mayor herself said that. So it's a very, very hard situation. It's an emotional storm to cover. Because, you think about the people aspect. A lot of these homes that are going to get destroyed, it's the home people brought their first child home in. It's the home that they saved for years to afford, and it's just gone. And it comes right behind the trails of Helene. So, we're tracking it and watching it closely.
And Katie, lots of people are evacuating at the moment. Is that something that people should still do if they can?
Yes, it is. That's a great question. Let me zoom back into our local radar. The reason I take you local here is just because I think it's really pertinent to show you, even in St. Johns County along our coastline, we've put in evacuations. People mandatorily have to evacuate. And then you look back in Tampa, people are evacuating. The roads are gridlocked. They really are. There's a lot of cars trying to get out. Gas is limited. Luckily, there's anything lucky in this storm, we were able to buy a little time with the landfall delaying. It was actually supposed to happen today, and it's happening tomorrow. So we're hoping that people will be able to get out there, refill some of the gas tanks, refill some of the supplies. But the roads are gridlocked and a lot of people having a hard time getting out. I know in Jacksonville, where we are, the hotels are all pretty much booked up because people from Tampa have come our way. I've got friends of mine that are trying to get out of Tampa and go all the way up to Tennessee. It's going to take hours among hours of extra time to do that because of the gridlock.
Katie, thank you for joining us. Definitely stay safe, because it does